I don't trust poetry. I've loved poetry and I've done poetry, and I've lost the poetic voice, but that's irrelevant to the point. That's not why I don't trust it. It's not because I can't do it very well anymore, or not that I ever did it very well, but it once came naturally. Once a verse, or something like verse, once flowed from my mind so easily, and it was accurate at the time. Honest poetry is quite clear in its capacity to. Quiet. That's not the word. Not clear. It's quite distinct in its capacity to illustrate the thoughts and the mind and the inclination of the author. What is wrong, though, sometimes, the reason I don't trust it often is because it's not always true. It's not always right. Sometimes we express things that are just flat out, or to some degree, wrong. And because they felt like they were right at the time that they came out, we mistook them for being right. The poems that I wrote in my 20s were reflective of a limited experience, of the limited experience that I had in the world in life. And they included a degree of optimism that in itself is refreshing and stimulating and pleasant to look at. It's like looking at some beautiful wildflowers without appreciating the impermanence of the wildflowers, the death that's to come. Likewise, the almost effervescent optimism in my poetry was lacking in any grounding in the world at large. Now, that's all right. It's okay to look at flowers and not think of death, and it's okay to enjoy an upbeat poem without reflections on mortality. But to then identify that as truth, especially as complete in any way, that's where the problem is. So I don't trust it. I mean, it's good stuff. I'm not talking about my own poetry. I'm talking about poetry in general is good stuff. I mean, it's especially when it comes from that almost it's a near the ecstatic welling of emotions and feelings and observation. It's good stuff, but yet it has to be appreciated for what it is, a glimpse, untested. In most cases, artistic items are not put to the test. They're not measured. And the only reason, and therefore when I say that I don't trust it, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy it, but that I won't rely on poetry to be the gauge of truth, but instead to be a manifestation of someone's vision of what is, of some aspect of life in the world, like an individual painting. Paintings are better that way because we take them as such. No one would likely base their worldview on a painting. But writing is more like that. Now, poetry maybe less so, but get into prose, a little more compelling. Get into philosophy, another form of writing, or thinking, or espousing, then even more so. And the weight that comes of the word philosophy, almost the demand for respect and authority. That's the word. Ooh, there's a dangerous word, authority. Philosophy, just calling something philosophy brings in some authority. And that alone is a dangerous thing. I never want to buy any arguments on authority alone, or even in part. Not even. The only thing that authority might do is give me cause to listen when multiple sources are conspiring for my attention, and I can only offer a limited amount. Someone from a position of authority might bend my ear longer, more closely. So I'll move on from there. So we've gone from a distrust of poetry as distinct from not loving or enjoying poetry, but a distrust of it as a representation of the world, because it is an untested expression. It is like a painting that is simply an impression. Even the best painting is an impression. Even the best photograph is yet an impression. Art itself is an impression and an expression, usually through some medium and filtered through some bias. So therefore, though I love poetry and though I respect it and enjoy it, I don't trust it. Likewise, nor do I trust prose or philosophy, and for that measure, theology. So it's not that it's all against. It's not all against the quest for. I'm not against the quest for the spiritual quest. What it's all about is simply drawing a line. Not even drawing a line, but a recognition of the shortcomings and the limitations of any endeavor of human description or calculation towards truth, in whatever form it takes, that has not been validated in some way. And the only validation that I know is that seems to be worthwhile is the validation of hypothesis, test, results, reevaluation of hypothesis, further tests, bringing those results under to the attention of others who can criticize, lay bare our mistakes, redo the same tests for us, with us, well, not with us, do the same tests independently, and then to compare those results. And if the results in any case turn out to be false, we've learned something. And it's not that we necessarily claim that we have disproved what we thought, well, we've perhaps proved what is true, which is a much far greater thing. So I'll take the poems, and I'll take the prose, I'll take the philosophy, and I'll take the theology, but then I won't trust it until it's passed muster with some reliable, trustworthy mechanism to filter out and discern what premises are actually in accord with the reality that moves about us. There we go. I think that'll be my position for now. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks. See ya.